This podcast is brought to you by Podspot Events.
Big John was back in Bondi, so we had to get him back on the podcast. Big John's son, Johnny Fisher, is fighting in the Tyson Fury Usyk undercard in Saudi Arabia in December. So we talk a little bit about that. We also talk about John's experience living life in the Bondi bubble. And we also talk about how John deals with some of the abuse that he gets on social media. I hope you enjoy this episode. As always, remember to give us a follow on Instagram at the Bondi Podcast to stay up to date with all of our guests and episodes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll find all of our episodes on Spotify. Bosh! Big John, welcome back to the Bondi Podcast, mate.
Great to be back. I didn't think I'll be talking to you so soon after last time. I remember we saying, we'll do it again when we're back over, but thankfully I'm back quicker than what I thought.
Yeah, mate, really appreciate you taking the time. And you're actually our first returning guest, believe it or not.
Yeah, see? So good we had to do it twice.
Exactly. If it's nice, do it twice,
Yeah.
mate. John, you might remember from the first podcast, the first question I ask all my guests is, what is your favourite thing about Bondi? Now, last time you said the beach. Still the beach, or have you changed your mind?
The beach, that's a pretty mundane answer, really. Do you know what? Because last time I wasn't staying in Bondi. I was staying in the CBD and I was just travelling to see the boys. This time I've stayed 5 full nights and 6 days in Bondi. And I've got to say, it's the Bondi bubble. Because you don't realise until you stay here for a few days how that bubble operates. And it's good to see it from afar, day in, day out. So, yeah, Bondi bubble is a real bubble.
And you never need to leave, mate. You've got restaurants, coffee shops, gyms, everything.
I think that's why, it's lovely. It's a lovely place, but it just don't seem real, because it's just like a fantasy. It's like people living here, living in like a fantasy world.
Yeah.
But fair play to them if they can live here. It is better to live in a fantasy world than a bloody horrible world. Do you know what I mean? So it's crazy. When you come here and stay for a few days, you realise what it's like.
Yeah.
There's a
lot of Peter Pans like myself, just kind of
Yeah.
running about and staying in the bubble, not really wanting to grow up.
I make myself available. I like to talk to people and talk to a lot of, I've said this before, I think, a lot of English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh. And the youngsters, when they come over, when I say young 20s, a lot of them are not going back. But you've got like a few of your ones that are hitting 30, they're thinking of going back. So it's just it's weird. But then you talk to the young Aussies and they can't wait to leave. So it's just, I suppose it's opposites of what we've got to them and they've got to us.
Yeah, it's nearly the opposite of what you grew up with.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Aussies, they can't wait to leave Sydney or Melbourne and go to London because they can get a visa for London.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite. It's the people from Ireland and the UK.
Yeah.
We all go, give us some of that sunshine and beach life.
We want the sunshine and beach, and you do feel isolated when you're out here. You do feel like you are the other side of the world, and travel is hard. So they want that. If they're in London, a 2-hour flight, they can be in 10 different other countries, whatever way they go. So that's the attraction for them, I suppose. But for us, it is the weather, the beach, the laid-back lifestyle, and possibly being a bit out the way.
Yeah. And some of your posts on Instagram, John, you sort of say about the UK government and the Irish government sort of needing to do a little bit more to try and keep the young talent closer to home. How do you think they go about that? Or because you've actually been over here and spent a bit more time in the bubble, do you kind of get why we all stay over here?
I get both sides. I've got 3 sons that are all working. My daughter's still at school. And if they come over here, you've got lower taxes, you've got higher pay, you've got a better probably standard of living. I think in our countries, UK, Ireland, we just take our young people for granted. Tax them as much as we bloody can, work them as hard as we can. And then all they live for, a lot of them, is a Friday night or Saturday night down the pub, which is not how you should be living life. One thing that I think Bondi, the area of Bondi's got it great, it's a very healthy way of living. Even me, I've upped my steps, doubled my steps each day. Up 6 o'clock in the morning, going for a walk to the beach to see the sunrise. I think in our countries, we've just got to give young people more incentive. But it's so hard. Property's so dear. It's just hard to do anything or get anywhere. And they come over here and they can achieve things a little bit quicker. So in the sunshine. So it's tough for us to keep them.
Absolutely, mate. And you said you're going to bring the family over next year?
Well, next year, we've sort of let a few people down in Melbourne and Perth where events have been cancelled through no fault of our own. And I hate letting people down, and people obviously think it's me that's not doing it, but you're just the front, the face. So next year we're going to properly plan a proper Australia tour. We still won't be able to go everywhere, but we want to go to Brisbane, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Perth, and back to Sydney, Bondi. And when we come here, I want to tie it in so that Charlotte and Hetty can come out, because they haven't experienced it yet. I'd just like even Hetty, my daughter, to experience it while she's young.
Yeah, they'd absolutely love it.
And obviously, when I was in New Zealand for 3 nights, lovely, loved New Zealand, Auckland, what a place. Came here, book into the hotel, wonderful hotel this here, the Adina. Book in, you got your room, you got like little flat, and you think, lovely, I can sleep when I want, I can eat when I want, I can swim when I want, I can do what I want. But after a day, that novelty wears off, because you're so used to sharing your life with someone. You know, you miss your wife not being with you. So I want to bring them back just to experience what I've experienced while I've been over it.
And if you're smart about it, John, you should actually try and tie that in when the British Lions tour is here next year.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping I might even get a bit of work with the British and Irish Lions tour. Right. So that'd be great. But listen, I just want to see more of Australia, because we've got a lot of followers over here. Johnny's got a big fan base over here. He should be fighting over here one day, touch wood. Everything goes according to plan. So it's nice just to see other parts, because everyone thinks you just come to Sydney all the time, but it's just easier for Sydney sometimes with flights and the way it is, and I've got a lot of connections here. I mean, we're supposed to be in Perth before this, and that got cancelled, and that was a shame, because I love Perth as well. And Melbourne we've cancelled twice, so I want to get to Melbourne, definitely.
It's a good spot, really.
Yeah, I want to get there, because there's a lot of people that keep asking out and reaching out, so we'll make sure we get there.
Just a quick word from me, guys. We're making some progress, Bondi podcast listeners. We're up to 450 followers on Spotify and 150 subscribers on YouTube. I would love to get both of those numbers closer to 500 across both platforms. So I've got a quick favour to ask. If you haven't, could you please quickly pause this episode, go and hit the subscribe and follow buttons on both platforms. It really helps with the show and ensures we can keep bringing quality guests and episode to you guys. Cheers. So talk me through this trip. John, obviously you were here in March. Talk me through this trip. What have you been doing?
This trip, as I said, I was in Auckland for 3 nights with Invades at a race day. That was crazy. Slow ticket sales at first, and people were a bit worried, will it open, will it? We ended up doing about 1,000 tickets. It was crazy. And then I've come over here. I funded this myself because I was so close. I was just meant to do the Auckland trip. I've got to Sydney. I've done a nightclub appearance last night with Bank Thursdays at the Arcade Bar, and I work with Budgie Smuggler. I've got a range of budgies coming out for Christmas and bucket hats. So I tied in, had a day with them, went to their factory. So interesting. They still make all their swimwear in Australia. Saw where my range is being made. Saw where England Rugby's range is being made as well at the same time. So I had a great day with Budgie. They then took us to the Lucky Prawn, which is in the Bob Hawkes Brewery. Just been fantastic, you know. I just thought, rather than just flying back from New Zealand, I'll put myself out and do a bit myself. So that's what I've done.
Fantastic, mate. And like you talked about, you went to the Lucky Prawn. What's the best meal you've had since you've been in Sydney this time around?
Listen, we had Paddy Chan's. They delivered to the hotel. Jesus, it's only me, and the food could have fed about 20 people. So thank you, Paddy Chan's. They're opening up a new store as well, a new restaurant where you can sit in. Have you had Paddy Chan's?
So I've actually not had it yet.
Yeah.
I know
It's
a lot
decent.
about it. I heard it's the closest thing we have over here.
Listen, let me tell you about social media. Before, when I come, I didn't rate the Chinese at all because I hadn't had any good one. I can't rate a good one if I haven't had a good one. And all people kept saying was, get Paddy Chan's, get Paddy Chan's, get Paddy Chan's, get Paddy Chan's. As soon as I said I'm getting Paddy Chan's, you don't want to get Paddy Chan's, you don't want to get Paddy Chan's. So it's just social media. But I got it. It was very nice, great people. And I'd definitely have it again. Went to the Lucky Prawn, sitting, bit of a different concept, very nice as well. So the 2 Chineses I've had this time have been a lot better than what I had last time.
What would you give Paddy Chan's out of 10?
I'd give it a solid, I'd say for me, the Blue Orchid is the benchmark, and I'd say that's like a 9.5 out of 10. So I'd give Paddy Chan's a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Decent.
That's high praise from you, Big
Yeah,
John.
it's very good. I said to them when they bought it in, I said, look, I can't tell no lies because people rely on me to give them, and it was decent. I loved what I had. So obviously a few things were a little bit different to what you get at home, but you're the other side of the world, so things are going to be a bit different.
Yeah.
But great people. Just you could see the enthusiasm he had for his business, you know, and because of that, he's only going to do good things.
Feeding all the expats in Sydney. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of them. There's no Aussies in Sydney. It's just English and Irish.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. So, look, John, last time you were here with your sons, and we did the podcast with yourself, and we did the podcast with Johnny as well. It's been a massive 9 months for Johnny. Look, if we start with the Alan Babic fight back in July, how are you feeling before that fight?
Yeah, I thought Johnny would win because he had such a good camp. He went to Texas to spar Hrgovic, and Hrgovic was in such a good place. I thought he'd beat Dubois, but I think after Johnny left the camp, they had a few problems. Hrgovic did, kept it all under wraps, but he still put up a good fight against Dubois, who we now know is setting a world alight. And Johnny held his own with Hrgovic at the end. First of all, it was tough, and I knew once he'd come through that he'd have no problem with Babic, but I thought it'd take 3 or 4, 5 rounds. Because Alan's a tough man, you know, he's got a good punch on him. But I think Johnny was wound up a little bit by his team with a lot of trash talk, saying, oh, they'll have to pull Johnny out. One thing Johnny is, he's a fighter and you'd have to take him out. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to pull him out. He's not going to quit. You'd have to take him out. He'll get knocked out if he gets beat. So that wound Johnny up. He keeps it all in, Johnny, but that really did.
I could see that.
That's why when people talk crap, just keep your mouth shut, because they genuinely lit a fuse inside Johnny for that fight. Babic's trainer and part of his management team. Utter rubbish, talking utter rubbish. Oh, they've got to pull him out. He's not ready for this. He's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And I knew it was getting to Johnny, but he kept it. And that's when he won, all the emotion come out.
So I watched it again today, just in prep for this conversation. You can see all of that pour out.
That was aimed at him. Fight. He weren't bothered about Alan Babic. I think he would have took the whole lot on. And, you know, he's like, after that, he's saying, Dillian White, they're talking shit. I'll fucking take him on. Do you know what I mean? Because they wound him up so much. But he had it in, controlled. And poor old Alan was the one that had to pay the price. So it's a lesson. Just keep your mouth shut. Let your boxing do the talking.
So Johnny knocks Babic down in 30 seconds of the first round. The ref stops it. Eddie Hearn's in the ring hugging Johnny. The crowd's going absolutely nuts. How are you feeling at that point?
Yeah, just relieved. At the end of the day, it's just some boxing and anything can happen. And unlike Babic's team, I had the utmost respect for Alan Babic. I knew what he could do. If he'd done that to Johnny, it could have been the same way, the other way round. So it's relief. You're just glad it's all over. All the hard work came to fruition. And just a little bit of a...
I know that you're in the ring with him, John. You're in the fight with him, and from our previous conversation, you were saying that it's that feeling of relief that you get once the fight's over. It's your son at the end of the day. Is it tough to enjoy those big moments, or is it just that sense of relief?
I think you can enjoy it to a part because it takes so much. People don't realise it takes so much to get to that part, with all the training, with all the sparring, with all what you have to go through. And when you get to that part, I knew he was in prime condition. So I was half looking forward to it because I knew how he looked inspiring. I knew what he was doing. So I was looking forward to him showing to the world what he can do. But I just didn't think it'd be so quick. So that's probably the first fight when I probably was looking forward to seeing a bit of it because I knew how hard he trained. But you do have other fights where things don't go according to plan. You might have a little injury. No boxer goes into a fight 100% fully fit. You've always got a niggle of some sort. But I think going into that fight, it was as right as rain. So I was looking forward to it. And it was over in 30 seconds, but thank God it was over in 30 seconds because the quicker the better.
Yeah. Why do you think Babic's team came out with that approach then? I
think they're just trying to unsettle Johnny because they think he's inexperienced. I think they're trying to unsettle him, but they don't know what man he is. You know, you do that to him, he won't let it show, but he'll harbour it inside. And they lit a beast that night. They really, really did. Absolutely fucking stupid. When I heard the manager talking, the trainer, I just thought, what are you doing? You know, and me and Johnny, we wouldn't talk about it, but he's, I know. And one thing Johnny has, he's got a heart of a lion. And I knew that would, you know, but they're trying to do it to disrupt him. But he's a clever man, Johnny. He's not stupid. You know, this is another thing. If Johnny gets beat, he'll get beat by someone who's a better boxer than him. Someone that can outbox him, tuck up, thinking. He won't get beat by heart or aggression or fitness or desire. He'll get beat by a boxer, not by someone And these people don't realise that, but let them continue to do it. But I felt sorry for Babbage because he's a good man, Alan. You know, we like Alan, and he had to pay the price for it.
These things happen in boxing,
Yeah,
John.
exactly.
And then there was a fight scheduled very shortly after that. Is it Rudenko?
Yeah, Rudenko about 3 times. But because Johnny only had a 30-second fight, you know, you have the hard training session, but then you don't really take any damage. Didn't take any damage in the fight. So Eddie said, look, we've got another show in 3 or 4 weeks' time. So you think, okay, I'll have a week tapering down, then I'll come again because you've got all that fitness. And then that show got cancelled. Then he had a new date. Then that show got cancelled. Then they said, okay, Johnny, you can headline at the Copper Box. Then Johnny got injured purely through overtraining. We've learnt a lesson. If you have an easy fight or not, you've got to remember you've had the hard training camp. So whatever happens, go and have 2 weeks rest. Rest your body, rest your mind, and then come back and start again. So I think it was just overtraining on Johnny's part, where fight after fight just get cancelled. So thankfully, hopefully his arm's all good now. He started punching again, and he'll be fit and ready to go.
So it was a bicep tear.
Bicep tear.
Is that a common one for a boxer, John?
It is when you throw right hands and punches as much as what he's been doing. You know, it's just overuse, purely overuse. And he was contemplating fighting Rudenko with just one arm, but the doctor, the surgeon, said to him, "You are at risk of your whole muscle coming away from your joint, and then it's a two year rehabilitation. So you just couldn't take that risk."
And that's your career in the toilet.
Yeah,
then.
so you got to think, all right, it's one fight, you can't do it. You've got to use your head. But we're all learning all the time. Now, after he has this fight, touch wood, he's going to come to Australia and have a few weeks off. So do it. Stick to what you're doing. Don't let anyone twist your head. Don't let anyone say, oh, yeah, you can just do this. Because nothing's certain in boxing. You've got to be in control of your own destiny. And we was all at fault for that. We thought, oh, it's only 3 weeks' time, we might as well do it. But next time, after you have a fight, make sure you have that 1 or 2 week break.
And John, is it messy behind the scenes? So say when a fight gets cancelled due to an injury so close to the fight, is it messy behind the scenes?
Yeah, I had to refund all tickets. It's a nightmare, absolute bloody nightmare. But it's the first time it's happened, and people as good as gold. Everyone that buys a ticket off me, we must have refunded 98%. Some people have said just keep the money for the next fight, next time he's in England. People as good as gold, but it's just that initial. We sold about 2,000 tickets. So as soon as it's cancelled, bang, my phone, you know, you can't keep up with everyone. You answer it and then you don't know where the message has gone. And then people might think you're evading them. But we've sorted everyone out. Everyone's been as good as gold. That's one thing they know, they'll get a refund. But it's just a bloody nightmare.
And what about with Rudenko and his team?
To be truthful, I didn't have no dealing with them, but I don't know. But that's boxing. So, you know, I think he had another fight or he's got another fight scheduled. So, unfortunately, it's boxing. What I care about is the fans, the people that pay their money. It was just making sure they got their refunds and making sure they knew what was happening. Because we knew the fight was cancelled, and I still had people paying in, but we weren't allowed to say anything. And that's not me. Like, people are messaging me, oh, I'll have 6 tickets, really looking forward to it. And they're still paying money when we know the fight's not going to go ahead. And I'm like, this is dreadful. So I had to sort of push the powers that be. Look, we've got to let people know because it's not good.
Yeah.
And but let's be truthful. No one really cares. Like, I care about the public, about Johnny's fans, but it's boxing. No one gives a shit.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So it's tough in that respect.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
You're just trying to do your best in this world, right?
Listen, boxing's boxing. There's snakes everywhere. You know, people are good to you while you're earning their money.
And you're on the way up.
And on the way up, but you're under no illusion. As soon as you lose your fan base, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? And we know that. But I just don't. I want all the people that are supporting Johnny, I want them to be fully involved in it and fully part of it. And I want to keep them involved all the time. That's important to me.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Now we've got the big showdown in Saudi in December. Johnny's going to fight David Allen on the Fury and Usyk undercard. That's fucking huge.
It's a big fight. And people like, you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, oh, Dave Allen's finished, Dave Allen's this. Dave's a tough man, never been stopped. And he's been in with some world champions. And he's putting everything on the line for this, you know. So if he can up his game for one fight and come out all guns blazing, he can old man Johnny. You know, you talk about what Babbage's team try to do, unsettle Johnny. Dave Allen won't do none of that. He'll try and unsettle him in the ring where it counts, you know. But I expect Johnny wants to get his power shots off. to unload, and I'm hoping for a stoppage win. But no disrespect to Dave Allen at all. He's a tough man, and he's been in a lot higher calibre than Johnny, as he says. But Johnny's on the way up, young, fit, hungry, and his power is immense. So as soon as he lands a few right hands, I'm hoping it'll be enough.
And they've sparred before?
Sparred when Johnny was a 18, 19-year-old amateur. I remember because I was working, and he had to go on his own. And Dave was in like the prime then. I think he was fighting Lucas Brown. And so he was in his prime. And I remember Johnny, I rang him up. He rang me up as soon as he'd finished. I said, "What's he like?" He said, "It's the toughest." He'd done 6 rounds. He said, "It was the toughest 18 minutes of my life, Dad." He said, "I now know what it takes to be a boxer." He said, "I've been bashed from pillar to post." He said, "But I enjoyed it." And he come home that night, he couldn't move, he was all cut, didn't get put down or anything, didn't get phased, didn't get stunned, just battered, because you're a big, clumsy, cumbersome, like, big man with a seasoned pro. And Dave don't hold back, which he shouldn't do, because he's fighting, biggest fight of his life. And then Johnny went back a couple of weeks later, did a bit better, went back again. You start getting better, you start realising what you got to do. As I said, Johnny's got a good brain. So if something don't work, he's pretty quick in changing.
Is this Johnny's biggest fight?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. It's on the biggest stage. Fury Usyk, it's Johnny's biggest name. And as I say, got nothing but respect for Dave Allen. All idiots on Twitter and boxing fans, oh, he's this, he's that. Don't know what they're talking about, because he's a tough man who knows how to fight. So Johnny's going to prepare as hard as he's ever prepared for this fight, and he'll be in tip-top condition.
Chief Nutrition have come on board as a sponsor. Chief Nutrition specialise in clean, healthy snacks that cut the crap. My personal favourite is the collagen protein powder. If you want to find out more about Chief Nutrition, listen to our episode with Veronica Larasova. And if you like what you hear, Bondi podcast listeners get 10% off all Chief products. Just follow the link in the show notes. Cheers. It's a huge opportunity to be on this undercard. This is a huge fight, John.
Biggest fight in history, probably, when it comes around, So how can you not be on that? Johnny ideally wants to fight in England because of his fan base. But I still think we'll probably take 200-300 people out there. We've got a lot of people showing interest. A lot of people have already bought tickets. I'm waiting to find out what I can do with the tickets. It's not as easy. It's not as straightforward. It's not a matchroom show. So it's all up in the air. And I've had people when I'm out here messaging, but I can't really do anything till I can sit down at home and log it all in my pen and paper. I like my pen and paper. I know where I am with that. So
that's what we do on this.
On the podcast. No, it's all I do. It's all I do. All my tickets, all pen and paper. People go, "Oh, you go spreadsheets." Spreadsheets can go F themselves. I like a pen. I know where I am. Never let anyone down for a ticket yet. It's sold thousands. So never let anyone down, and I won't when I know the system that I'm doing.
And given the size of the fight, John, how did you feel when you found out Johnny was going to be in the undercard and it'd be a trip for you and the family over to Saudi?
Brilliant. Just, this is what you live for. It could be the only time you ever do it. It's all about life, is experiences and taking chances when they come. So why not? You've got to grab these things with both hands and embrace it. So we'll shall see. It'll soon be here. I think it's only about 7 weeks now. So all systems go.
So will you and Charlotte and the other kids go over?
Yeah, as I say, normally with Matchroom we'll get tickets, we'll get flights, but we don't know what we're getting. We really don't know what we're getting at the moment. William wants to book his own flight, so let's just wait to see what we've got to get. But if it's a case of we have to pay for ourselves, we'll pay for ourselves and get over there by hook or by crook. I was toying with the idea of driving over there because I'd love that. I think it'd be a good road trip, but then I think I had to drive through about 2 war zones. And if I left the day after the fight, I might get back for Christmas Day. So I think that ideas are been put out.
If there's anyone that could bring peace to a war zone, though, I think I would.
I can do a little bit with Rangers and Celtic, but I don't think the trouble in the Middle East. I don't think I'll get anywhere near that, unfortunately.
Oh, we're not talking about Rangers at the minute, John. Unfortunately, it's an absolute shit show.
Yeah, we won't go there. And I met a man on the beach yesterday with his Celtic shirt, and I had a little joke with him, put it on my Instagram, but all in good fun. I think they're Rangers not even going to finish second at the moment, are they?
John, it's terrible, mate. We're 9 points behind Aberdeen and Celtic.
Aberdeen doing really well. I was in Aberdeen a few weeks ago. Yeah. Last time I was up there, they'd lost to a 3rd or 4th division team in the Cup. Everyone was moaning about them this time, and everyone's buzzing about them. So football is just how it turns.
I know, mate.
Yeah, we won't talk about football then.
No, we're not talking about it, mate. We'll not talk about it. And then, John, the other thing I wanted to touch on just with the boxing, well, no, let's actually stick with that main event. How do you see that one going, Fury Usyk?
I said I've give up making predictions. All my predictions, the last 4 or 5 big fights, I've got it all wrong.
So if you went Fury and AJ in the last few fights?
I thought Fury and AJ, definitely. And Dubois proved me wrong. Credit to him. He's doing really, really well, Daniel. We all knew he would. We all knew he had that spark in him and that something special in him because of his power. Once you've got that power, you can do anything. But with Fury, I think he was winning the fight quite comfortably last time. But then I think he just clocked a wrong and it all sort of changed. A little bit of showboating, a little bit of... but I think I'm hoping to see a more controlled and more disciplined. But listen, I like Fury. I'm a big fan of him. I've always Usyk off. You've got to give him credit where credit's due. The man's a machine. And like Fury, they're not getting younger anymore. So, it's just... I hope Fury can do it. I really do. Be a great night if he can.
Yeah, and you'll be there to see it, mate.
There. Well, I've got to get my ticket yet. So everyone else will be getting tickets apart from me. So, I'll get there, don't worry.
I want... The picture I want to see from Saudi Arabia is Conor McGregor, Cristiano Ronaldo and Big John, in the middle.
I don't think I'll sit with them. I can't be bothered.
You'd have a better night elsewhere,
I don't think I'll be anywhere near the front, to be honest with you. So it'd just be great to see my son.
Yeah.
Everything else is secondary.
I'll bet, mate. And John, what about those Tony Bellew comments about a Derek Chisora versus Johnny fight, saying that Chisora taking on Johnny would be a bad move?
We see Del Boy the other night. Was it
your birthday?
I think it was my birthday. Yeah, and he come in and he started telling me about Ozempic or something like this. I think, and then he rings Johnny up. I think he wants me to go on a weight loss thing with him and sell it. So we'll see where that comes out. But yeah, listen, I've seen Johnny and Del Boy spar recently, and what happened in that spar will stay in that spar because you never divulge. But yeah, I think it'd be a good fight because Del's still got power. But no disrespect to Derek Chisora, he's well past his best. Johnny could only dream of fighting him when he was in his prime. But I think if they fought now, it wouldn't end well for him, and that's the truth. And that's coming as a Derek Chisora fan, because your powers do wane as you get older, and he's took a lot of punishment in his fights, and I don't think anyone wants to see him take a lot of punishment. So perhaps tee him up some fights with equal sort of opposition, and that's not bigging Johnny up, and that's not disrespecting Del Boy. That's just where they are in their careers at the moment.
Yeah,
so we shall see.
What needs to happen from here, John, for Johnny to start having those bigger fights against a Chisora or a Dillian White or a Joe Joyce?
I think he can take. Listen, he'd take Chisora, White, Joyce now. He'd never fight Joe because Joe's his good mate. They'd never fight each other, but Del Boy, as we just said, might not be the right thing to do. But Dillian White, if he wants it, Johnny will fight him tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? There's no fear there.
But what needs to happen? But
I think Johnny needs 1 or 2 fights where he's taken a few rounds first. Do you know what I mean? Because these fellas have all been in the trenches, have all been in long fights. Johnny hasn't. He's only had one where it went round 7, wasn't it, Harry Armstrong? So he needs a fight or 2 to build up a bit of experience, and you hope that Dave Allen can give him a few rounds. We all want it to finish early, and you hope it does, but if you get a few rounds out of it, it's invaluable. So that's from my point of view. There's still no rush with Johnny. He's 25. People, do this, do that, do this. He's got to earn a living. He's got to pay his mortgage off. Do it gradually, get there, and when you get to fight these good uns, make sure you're there, because like you mentioned Joyce, Chisora, White, they're past their best now. Do you know what I mean? When you talk about the other ones like Fabio Wardley, even Fraser Clark, Johnny's ready for them, but needs a little bit more tuning, and that's being truthful.
So you might have touched on it. You might have already answered this one, but who would you like to see him up against next? Would it be a Del Boy or would it be someone else?
As I said, me personally, as a Del Boy fan, I wouldn't like to see the fight. It'd be a good fight. It'd be, but I don't think it'll happen. White could happen in 1 or 2 fights' time. He'll never fight Joe Joyce. I wouldn't like to see that, but it'll never happen.
Because they're mates?
Because they're mates, yeah.
Do they go out together? Or?
Yeah, they're good mates. They've and that never happened. It would just never happen. There's plenty of fights out there without having to fight your mates. Different if Joe had a world title and you wanted to take it off him, but he hasn't. So why would you fight him? There's other fights out there. There's a lot of Americans. There's a lot of Europeans that you can fight to get you experience, and then hopefully in a couple of fights, fight for the British title. That's the dream, you know, fight for a British title. So we'll see if Fabio vacates because he's on a higher trajectory now. You know, he's proved his worth. So we'll see if he vacates, then see who there is about to fight for a vacant title, perhaps.
Yeah, because that's what Johnny said when he was on the podcast last time. He said he would love, if all he did in his boxing career was win a British title, he'd be over them.
It's still his aim. Fight for a British title, win a British title, and then anything after that is a bonus. That's what he set his sights on, winning a British title. So anything after that is happy days.
He's a smart boy.
He's a clever boy. Listen, he's my son, but he's like, sometimes when he's talking and you hear him talking to people, you're proud of him because of the way the man he is, you know, and he's a smart boy. And he can do a lot of things other than boxing. And that's what I think makes him dangerous, because he chooses to box. He doesn't have to box. He could do whatever he wants in life, you know. But he'll do this for the next few years and see where he can end up.
I love sitting here chatting to you about Johnny and the boxing, Big John.
Oh, thank you.
You were hitting the pads recently.
Yeah, until the dog bit me.
What happened?
Fuck it, it's still right. Just cut a long story short, we was going up London for an afternoon. It was a Sunday, and I started doing a bit of pads with Johnny, and it was really helping. You know, you only a couple of minutes. You don't want to kill yourself, and we started doing it in front of Arnie, our Rottweiler, and we shouldn't have, because as soon as you put things on, he thinks you're playing, and he's aggressive when he plays, and he's bit the glove, and he's not bit me, he's bit the glove, so he's got the glove. So I said, right, come on, Johnny, we'll stop now. Johnny, no, just use your left hand. Just use your left hand. So I'm just using my left hand while he's got hold of my right hand. And then he's took a re-grip because he's losing the grip on the glove. And he's gone right through my hand there. And then wouldn't release because he thinks he's just got the glove. And I'm going, fucking release, Arnie, let go, let go. In the end, he lets go. I go up London because they want to go up London. So I said, go up to the hospital on the way back. It's all open. I covered it up. Went to the hospital, stitched it, went back a week later to take the stitches out. They said you should never have stitched it because you've got to let all the poison come out. When they unstitched it, it just all fell apart again. And now to this day, when I shake hands, it bloody hurts. It's all there. I think I had like 8 stitches, but it was just in a funny, it's like the padding on the... But it's not the dog's fault, it's our fault. We shouldn't have played silly buggers in front of a 70-kilo Rottweiler.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were sort of shaking hands with me kind of the other way the other day.
I feel funny because when people come up, I always do that because it bloody hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts now when I shake hands. It's right on there. And people sometimes get a bit funny when you fist bump, but it's just the easier way to do it, you know. So, yeah, the Rottweiler got his way with me, unfortunately.
So why did you start the pads thing in the first place,
Just to try and get a little bit fitter.
Yeah?
I mean, since I've been here, I've been walking. What it is with me, I start things, then stop, start, then stop. I've got to get on the start and I lost weight before I come here. I've still lost 6.5 stone, but I've still got another 6.5 to go. But it just seems to be plateauing, you know, because I'm walking, I'm swimming, but I'm still eating. I don't drink really, a pint of beer every now and again, but food is my God, food is my vice. And sometimes you can eat the wrong food too much. Like with me, when people want to have meetings or interviews, it's always at the Blue Orchid. So the night before we went to Vegas a few weeks back, and the week before we went, I had Blue Orchid 5 times in a row. Just purely, that's where people want to meet you. So I've tried to eat a bit healthier, but it's just bloody hard. It's me, I've got to get on grip of it. But there you go. But the pads have come out, so we're going to do it again.
Looking forward to seeing it, mate.
Watch this space.
Exactly.
I might take Del Boy on it.
No, I would love to see that, mate.
I wouldn't.
Are you trying to grow your business or brand but often find there aren't enough hours in the week? Have you considered hiring a virtual assistant to help with all those tasks that you don't want to do that could easily be delegated? I'm talking about admin, accounting, digital marketing, social media, and much, much more. Well, our show sponsors Remote provide businesses, entrepreneurs, and social media influencers with the top virtual assistant talent in the Philippines. If you're curious but still sitting on the fence, why not use the referral code Bondi to trial a virtual assistant for 2 weeks for absolutely free. That's 2 weeks, absolutely free. All you have to do is go to the website www.remote.com.au/contact, enter your details, enter the referral code Bondi, and someone from Remote will be in touch. I've added the link to the Remote website in the Instagram bio, and there's also a link in the show notes. And if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, please get in touch with us over Instagram. Cheers. You mentioned Vegas there, John. So where have you been on your travels since you were last in Australia?
We went to Vegas when Johnny had the injury. He's got a sponsor over there. Shout out Jonathan Jossel with the Plaza Hotel, really good friends of ours. We went over there, me and Johnny, for about a week. Jonathan took us about everywhere, just to reconnect.
You love Vegas.
I love it. It's my favourite place, you know. Someone asked me that today. They said, "Oh, where's your favourite place other than Sydney?" I said, without a shadow of a doubt, Las Vegas is the best place on earth. You know, I'd go there whenever I could. I'd even live there in Las Vegas, but my wife wouldn't, so I'm not gonna. So we went over there, saw Jonathan, did a lot of things with him. Really good. Where else have I been? Just been the usual, like Greece, Spain, France.
Working or with a family?
Yeah, working and family. Sometimes if I can, I take them with me, you know. But obviously you can't all the time because of school and other things. But yeah, just been all over the place.
Any good stories from your travels?
I've been to Galway as well.
How was that?
Galway, wonderful place. Absolutely wonderful place. Loved it. I can't wait to go back. So I'm waiting for Supermax to tap me up again and take me over there. I loved it. One of my favourite places. Been to Belfast. Loved Belfast.
Yes, how was Belfast actually? I saw you were there.
Belfast was fantastic. And we did a tour with Paddy...
McDonald?
Yeah, Paddy McDonald. What's his nickname?
The Dagger?
The Dagger Man, yeah.
Yeah, did you?
What a nice man he is. And he took us... We went in a UVF pub.
Did he take you in the black taxi or...?
No, we went in one of his cars.
Right,
he wasn't in a taxi, but we went in Protestant pubs and Catholic pubs. Like one of them was an IRA. Felt a bit funny going in there, to be honest, but we had to show both sides of everything. And you can feel that them days are gone, but you can still feel an edge. And the Peace Walls, I saw the Peace Walls. I couldn't believe it. I never even knew the Peace Walls were there. And I'm quite up on current affairs, but it was just brilliant. Belfast was absolutely brilliant. Both sides, Catholic, Protestant, they're good people, you know. And as I said when I was there, we've always been divided by politicians, and perhaps now they're still divided by people controlling drugs and crime, and you know, rather than religion. But when you talk to a normal Catholic, a normal Protestant, they're both good people, and they're pretty much the same to me. And I just find it amazing that you could have that hatred going back years. I suppose the side of it, the Catholics, the British Army's in Ireland, you know, and then the British Army or the Protestants, when they get killed by the IRA, it's just hate breeds hate. And thankfully that side's gone now. And what a wonderful, wonderful place. Can't wait to go back.
And you're with Paddy as well, so you're going to be fairly safe. Like
he was scared stiff going into the Rex bar.
Was he?
Yeah, because that's like the Shankill Road.
Yeah.
Union Jacks everywhere. And,
is that the Rangers bar in the Shankill?
Yeah. And it was brilliant. Absolutely one of the best days, like other than family, of our life. Finding out about all the murals, all the troubles, you know, from both sides. Because as I said to you, I missed the Bishopsgate bomb. I missed that by about 20 minutes. It could have blown me up. I worked there. And you can just see when someone gets killed, it creates hate that's going to last a lifetime. And that's on both sides, you know. And thankfully now that's stopped. But Belfast was brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
It definitely feels a lot safer, even for me, kind of growing up in Belfast. Like, when I go back now, it does feel a lot safer. One thing I always do, John, when I go back, if I've not been back in a very long time, I will always go and do one of those black taxi tours that takes you into the Protestant community, takes you into the Catholic community.
We did the equivalent of that, you know, and the bar we went in, is it the Phalian bar? You used to have to be a convicted IRA terrorist to be a member in there. And we went in there, and listen, I'm English, I'm Protestant, I'm British, got mates in the British Army, got mates that served in Ireland. So when you go in there, you feel a bit funny, but everyone was friendly. It's sort of hopefully water under the bridge now. I know a lot of people still will hold grudges because of obvious reasons, but you just hope that it's never going to go back to that. Yeah. Really, 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 really good time though. What a place.
Fantastic. And I think those comedians like Paddy, like Shane Todd, like Colin Geddes, they've actually done a lot to sort of bridge the gap between Protestants and Celtic.
Yeah, he was a top man.
Protestants and Catholics,
Paddy was a top man. You're gonna have evil on both sides. You're gonna have people that don't want to forget. You're gonna have people that don't want to give in. But as you say, more people like him. Yeah. You know, if he can come in, because I said, come in the bar with me. No, I can't. And he come in, and I was friendly to him, you know. So it was great. And trust me, if you'd have said to me before, you're going to Belfast, I thought, Belfast? Why am I going to Belfast? it wouldn't have been high on my agenda. But it's a place now. As soon as the opportunity comes, bang, we're going over there. We went, another one of Johnny's sponsors, that prize guy. So while Johnny's been injured, we've tried to see the sponsors that are far away. And they was good people, you know, looked after us, had a Chinese there. I forget the name of it. It's a good one upstairs. But really good. So, again, Chinese.
Mate, it's going to follow you around, mate.
Yeah,
Everywhere
does.
you're going to go.
Unfortunately, it
everywhere
does.
you go. John, I wanted to touch on social media. Obviously, you're like a big social media personality, but there's a lot of good and bad on social media, and you're actually one for posting the good and the bad and calling it out, which I really like. If we can start with the bad first, I've seen some of the comments that you receive from...
You wouldn't believe I get 100, 200 each day. You fat bastard, you're going to die. You're a fucking drain on the NHS. We're supporting you. And this, when you look at these people's accounts, you know, I've worked all my life. Every week I've paid into my national insurance. I've helped raise thousands of pounds for the NHS doing charity work. You don't like to bleat on about what you do. So I think I've paid my way. And touch wood, I've been fit and healthy. Although I'm overweight, I get checked. I'm fit and I'm fit. I'm quite healthy. And when these people do that, you just think, and sometimes you just have to have a go back, because there's a lot of people, I get a lot of messages from overweight people that haven't got a voice or haven't got a following, and a lot of people, they kill themselves. I had a beef with Stan Collymore. He tweeted about me. He said, "Oh, whoever's family is this," he's just getting on a bandwagon. He done a tweet. He said, "Whoever's family is this man, they're killing him. They should be ashamed of themselves."
Stan Collymore.
Yeah, it's Stan Collymore, right? And on Stan Collymore's thing, he's got men's mental health.
Fuck off.
I messaged him. I said, "Stan," I said, "you took the piss out of me on Twitter." I said, "You advocate men's mental health." I said, "I've had so many messages from people saying that you're..." No, cut long story short, I had so many messages of hate from his tweet. "Kill yourself, you fat bastard, you this, you that." Loads, real evil to me. And I said, "Stan, you advocate men's mental health. You've just pulled on about 1,000 messages onto my shoulders." I said, "If I was a lesser man, I could have killed myself." I said, "So can you explain yourself?" He apologised. He followed me. I followed him. We now interact. But just wrong. You know what I mean? He's jumping on someone else's tweet, aiming it at me. When if he wanted to help me, just message me, DM me. You know, but all good. He's apologised and we moved on. But just people doing that, you know, with high profiles. But I do get a lot of messages from overweight people saying that they struggle, thinking of killing themselves, thinking of doing this, thinking of doing that. And people can say, "Yeah, stop eating." Yeah, it's easier said than done. If you've got an addiction, food addiction is probably a bit of an addiction. It's just like a drink or drugs, or it's not as bad because it takes so long to impact your life. But it is the same sort of thing. And I even know it myself, because I've been doing loads of walking while we're here. And Charlotte's been going, "Well, when we go away, you don't want to walk." Do you know why? Because she's always going, "We've got to do this, we've got to do that." I've done it off my own back. When people keep telling you, there's something in your brain that you react against it. When you do it yourself, when you sit down and you know you've got to do it yourself, you do it. But when you've constantly got some, "Come on, we've got to go there, come on, we've got to go there." Like the other day, I walked nearly all the way to Bondi. Hard bloody walk. But I was stopping, having a sit, having a rest, doing it on my terms, but I did it. Do you know what I mean? Now, if she was there, "Well, what are you sitting down for? What are you sitting down for?" And I'm saying this in the best possible way because she knows she does that. But it's just, yeah, let people have their own speed sometimes. But the hate is dreadful. The hate I receive is dreadful. Now, I put myself out there. I've got big shoulders. I couldn't give a toss. I put it on there to highlight for other people. I don't not care one bit what anyone on Twitter or Instagram says to me. I only care what people around me say. Do you know what I mean? And I've been fit. I've been super fit in my life. Yeah, I'm overweight, but that's it. Do you know what I mean? Get on with your own life. Worry about your own life before you worry about mine.
So how do you deal with it, John?
It don't bother me. Don't bother me, but it does bother a lot of people. I could not care less. Do you know what I mean? As I said, I've been super fit. I've been as fit as anyone. And yeah, I've got to get fit. I've got to get it, but I don't need the people that I don't know saying it in a horrible way, you know? So
how do we fix that?
I don't think you ever will. I think social media is has got an evil side to it that you'll never ever fix. It's got a good side to it. You get a lot of positive messages, you get a lot of love, but while you get that love, you're always going to get the bad. So you're just going to have to put up with it. Or just, all I do normally, I just delete and block, because a lot of people just want a reaction. But the odd one will get to me and I will show, we'll call them out on it. And 99 times out of 100, anyone that I put on mine, they'll apologise or they'll delete their account because they don't realise that I have a lot of people backing me as well. If they're willing to put something on a post about me, then I'll put it on mine. Good luck to you.
And you're putting it out there to raise awareness that this sort of thing goes on.
You don't realise I get a lot of messages from people. I've fallen overweight, I've lost my job, I've put weight on, I've lost my wife, I've lost this, I've put weight on. Not everyone's fat just because they sit there and stuff their face. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of reasons why people are overweight. And just by castigating everyone and putting them in the same box is not good. Yeah. But there you go. We carry on.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
No, well, listen, it's nothing... It don't bother me. You know what I mean? As I said, there was something the other day. If I drop down dead tomorrow, my family will miss me and it's a thing, but I'm living my life as best I want to live it. I'm living a full life and I've got no regrets in life. I want to live healthy. I want to live for another... I'm 51. When you're at 50, you realise if you're lucky, you've got 20 good years left in you. So I've got to lose a bit of weight. I want to get to 70. If I get to 70, I've had a good go. Do you know what I mean? My dad never got to 70. He got to 67. So if I can get to 70, I'll be happy. That's 19 good years left.
And you said you've lost 6.5 stone, but there's another 6 to go?
It's probably about another 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah. But I seem to just be... I can't shift anymore. But that's me, because I'm still going to the Blue Orchid. I'm still, like when I'm here, I'm having a pint of Great Northern. But, fucking hell, if I can't have a pint of Great Northern or Blue Orchid, I might as well not live. Do you know what I mean? I'm just telling you how it is. So if I up my walking, do a little bit more swimming, then hopefully... you'll tip the balance and you'll start losing a bit and you can still enjoy yourself. That's the thing, I don't overgorge. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I don't get drunk. But when you're eating the wrong foods at the wrong times, that's when it's not good. So there you go.
Our newest sponsor, Cameron's Tallow, is changing the natural skincare game. Do you suffer from eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, or acne scarring? Well, Cameron's Tallow Balm could be exactly what you need. Made from Australia's best grass-fed and grass-finished beef tallow, Cameron's Tallow Balm is great for skin nourishment and is perfect for dry and sensitive skin. If you're curious, you can check the guys out on Instagram at Cameron's Tallow and drop them a DM if you have any questions, or go to the website cameronstallow.com to find out more. I'll put all the details in the comment section below. Cheers! I saw another type of message that you get, John. So you get really nice messages from people sort of saying, keep doing what you're doing. It's putting a smile on my face. Yeah. Love to see it. Then you get the bullshit. I saw another type of message that you got, and it's someone said that, it's quite serious. It's someone said, I've just OD'd on sleeping pills. Then they come to you asking for advice. Like, how do you feel when you get those kind of messages? Because that's quite serious.
Listen, if anyone gives me that message, I talk to them. I engage with them. And you get it quite a few times, and they're genuine people. A lot of people out there are struggling. A lot of people do not have a good life. A lot of people, people might look at me and think, oh, you're living the dream. We still have problems. Everyone has problems. You've got family. You don't think any of my children have problems. Everyone has problems. You don't think my mum has problems. You don't think, everyone has problems. It's just how you handle them. But there's some people out there where their problems are magnified. Like a lot of men, if their wife leaves them, they lose their jobs. A lot of men struggle. And like a lot of men, 80% of suicides are by men. And after time, they don't think they can talk to anyone. So even if just one person can talk to me, I'll be there. I'll listen to them and talk to them and just try and, as best I can. I'm not a professional. I'm not anyone that can give great advice. I can just give my advice, And I've had problems. We've all had problems. And I tell people, monetary problems are not problems. Money comes and goes. Do you know what I mean? You always get out of trouble with money. I say it to my own sons. You just got to take each day as you can and be as positive as you can when you can. But sometimes it is bloody hard, it really is. But there's a lot of people out there struggling, especially now. A lot of people feel lost in this country. A lot of people feel like they haven't got a voice. A lot of people feel like there's nowhere to turn, and that's a dangerous place, it really is.
Have you been there yourself, John?
Listen, I've always been a positive person. I've had many troubles in my life. Mainly monetary with business, but I've always got out of it, always worked out of it, always tried my best. And at the end of the day, it's all you can do. You can do your best. And sometimes you just got to say, look, this is what I'm doing. I can do no more. Work with me. And 9 times out of 10, people will work with you, you know, and then everyone gets out of trouble. So it's just life. Life's not easy. Not easy.
And why do you think these people feel comfortable coming to you, John?
I think they can relate to me. I think they see I'm just a normal bloke. Father of 4 children, been married for nearly 30 years. I'm just a normal bloke. Do you know what I mean? So, and a lot of people haven't got father figures out there. So, listen, I can't be everyone's dad. I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. But if I can bring a bit of a smile to someone's face or a little bit of advice here and there, so be it. I'll do as best I can.
Beautiful. No, it's amazing, mate. Like, you're just, as I said, as I mentioned on the last podcast, like, you put a smile on so many people's faces on a daily basis, and as you said, like, if you put a smile on one person's face, you're doing a good thing.
I just like light-hearted stuff. Do you know what I mean? Don't take life too serious. Have a laugh, have a joke. It's like I found an old video of Henry when we was here, and he had turn-ups, and I had to put it on just because it made me laugh. Do you know what I mean? It might not make a lot of other people laugh, but I couldn't stop laughing. And then I'm sitting at New Zealand airport, Auckland airport, waiting to fly here. At about 2 hours, I'm thinking, Jesus, it's boring. It's only 2 hours, but you know when you get bored. And then all of a sudden, a post pops up. It's William's girlfriend, Isla, who's Scottish. And there's him and her going to a fancy dress party. He's dressed as Anakin, and she's dressed as Padme. And these 5 photos, and I just took a photo of all of them, put them all on their group chats. And then for like an hour, everyone's taking the piss out of William, and he's giving it back. But it's just so funny. Do you know what I mean? And I love William purely for the fact that he couldn't give a shit as well. He's just as Anakin, you know. He couldn't give a... But it really was just funny. Then Johnny started, Henry started. They were all on the group chats. And it's just so funny. Yeah, really good. That really brightened my day up, you know. So just things like that.
I've been coerced into something similar tomorrow night, Big John.
Here we go, look.
I'm going to a Halloween party tomorrow night. I'm going as Woody. She's going as Bo Peep.
So you've been coerced by your missus. This is William. He falls in love. He's got a wonderful girlfriend, Isla. She's a wonderful young lady. But it wouldn't have been his idea to go just as Anakin and Padme. He's standing there in the photos, and it was funny. It was funny. The things we do for love, eh?
I've got Woody and Bo Peep. No, that's actually leads me onto something I want to ask you about, Big John. I do actually need some love life advice. So
fucking hell.
So this
Come
girl,
to the right place here.
This girl. Well, obviously you and Charlotte have been together for years, mate.
Yeah.
You're a pro. This girl that I'm seeing at the minute, she's from Ongar. That's
Ongar.
That's
yeah,
near you, isn't
Johnny's
it?
first ever boxing club was Ongar ABC.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that's near you in Essex. Have you got any advice for me dating a girl from Ongar or an Essex girl?
Just let her put a fake tan on. Just let her wear her high heels, a short skirt, and give her a handbag every Christmas, and you'll be happy.
Yeah.
No, just know that girls from Essex are feisty, got a lot of fire in their belly. So whatever she says, you're going to have to do, unfortunately.
Hence the Woody and Bo
Yeah,
Peep
hence
thing
the Woody and
to
Bo Peep. And like William, his young ladies from Glasgow, another feisty area, so he's being told what to do.
Yeah.
So us men can't keep up with the women. We know who the boss is, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she's on the blue side of Glasgow, John. Please tell me that.
No, she's not.
No.
She come down. She stays at our house, and she come down the other morning. She had a Celtic top on. I went, what the fucking hell are you wearing? But it's all good fun.
It's all good fun, mate.
Yeah, how it should be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How it should be.
And it's more like that over here, actually, the whole Celtic and Rangers thing.
I've noticed that. I was talking to some Irish blokes here. I said, Sydney, the only place where English and Irish people can live hand in hand in joyous harmony. You know, why can't it happen on our own bloody islands, you know? And again, it's true. I always say English people, Irish people, we're the bloody same. We've just been divided throughout history by politicians.
Correct.
And the sooner people realise that, the sooner it will be better, all the way. But there you go. No one's going to listen to me.
Nah, I think you're doing a lot to bridge the divide, John, as well, bringing people together, bosh by bosh.
There shouldn't be a divide. Irish people, English people. All right, things happened on both sides hundreds of years ago. It's hundreds of years ago. Let's live now.
Yeah.
Let's build a future together now.
Agree, mate. So going home tonight, John?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most?
Chinese on Saturday. It's actually our anniversary, 28th or 29th 28th wedding anniversary.
28, you and Charlotte, 28
on Saturday,
years?
Yeah. So I land at Heathrow 2 o'clock on Saturday, 28 hours travelling. I land 2 o'clock, I'll get the Elizabeth line back. We won't go out, we'll get a takeaway, bit of Netflix, bottle of wine. That's bliss to me. Absolute bliss, sitting there with the dogs, sitting there. She'll probably fall asleep by 9 o'clock. I'll probably do the same, then wake up for match of the day. So living the dream. I like nothing better than, which is sounds bad because I've been away for like a week and a half. Charlotte hasn't, so she might want to go out, but she'll understand.
You'll be knackered, mate.
Yeah, I'll be knackered, and she understands, and she likes that as well. And then what I want to try and do is see when I've got a couple of spare days and perhaps take her away somewhere. Clacton or Southend, treat her. Or Onga, might go
Or
Onga,
Onga, mate. Yeah, absolutely. What's in the order for the Chinese then tomorrow night?
What I'll do when I land on the train, I'll send through the order. So you'll see it. I'll put it on my socials because everyone likes that. We just get the charming, the rice. We'll get some duck, get some prawns, get some shredded chili beef, some salt and chili chicken, some chicken balls, prawn crackers, curry sauce. Nice comfort food.
And a bottle of white?
Bottle of white, Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio, yeah.
Mate, you know how to do it.
Oh, it's just nice. But listen, with me and Charlotte, we have a glass of wine and then that knocks us out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But all you hear is...
But it's nice just to know you can chill, you know? And then Sunday I'll get on and start working through people's tickets for the...
Yeah.
But I've got to do it with a clear head. I want to sit there, do it with a clear head, nice cup of coffee, and we'll go away. Bang.
Unreal, mate.
That's the plan.
So, John, last question. What stands out for you the most on this trip?
Just purely staying in Bondi this time. As I said, last time I saw a lot more of the area, a lot more went to Canberra, went to Perth, went all over Sydney. This time I made sure I just wanted to stay here because I knew I had a lot of stuff going on and you're still tired. The jet lag gets you at any time. And it was just to see that Bondi bubble. You know, it's just to me, it's like being in Clapham or Battersea or Wandsworth, but you got the sea there. Exactly the same. You know, when you see the run clubs, the coffee clubs, just like the young ladies with all the fitness stuff on, the men with their tops off and all fit. It was brilliant to see. But what a place. Just like it's a great mix of people. There's no trouble. You always feel safe when you come here. It's as clean as anything. And I can't wait to bring Charlotte and Hetty back because it's truly like living in a dream. I think if people are living here are living in a dream. It don't feel real. So it's nice to come and experience it for a week every now and again.
Well, John, you're welcome back in the Bondi bubble anytime, mate.
I might get on the Bondi podcast third time in February. Say hat-trick, keep the match ball. Have you got a match ball?
We'll get you a match ball,
get a
mate.
match ball. Because Johnny will be over in January and we're coming over in February. So
Unreal,
we'll be here definitely. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a pleasure.
And all the best for Saudi Arabia, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we need the help for the tickets first.
Oh, no, we'll bosh it.
Yeah, bosh. Thank you very much. Thank
you, John. Cheers, mate. Really appreciate it.